welcome to Sarah's Stamping Retreat. Today we're going to be using this Simply Succulents bundle. So you've got the stamp set and then you've got a really big die set. So you've got these shape dies, some of which cut out the images, some of which are their own things. And then you've got this gorgeous piece here. I've done a whole 5 ways with video on this set, so if you want some more ideas after you've watched this video, then I'll link in the description below. I've done a Z fold card and I've also done it 5 ways with video. And today we're going to make a simple box. I'm going to use one of these tiny treat boxes. So you get 16 of these in a pack, and I'm just going to take off, there's a nice bit of foil to protect them so that they're nice and unmarked when you get it. And as you can see, it's a small box. It's a 2-inch cube when it's made up, and it's really easy to make. We're just going to fold in those 2 sides. I like to kind of crease the seams first, because otherwise they don't go together as well. So then I'm going to put this down with this notch in it. Then I'm going to put down both the sides and they just click into there. And then this end goes in last. And then I can just push that in from there. And then the top is just like a normal box. But I thought it would be fun to use it with this die cut here, so that you can kind of see a little bit of what's inside. So I'm just going to close that. So we're actually going to use this as a wrap. So I'll show you what we're going to do. I'm going to start by blending on this sheet of paper. Now I'm just going to keep this here as a guide for how much I need to do, because I want to do a section that will cover this. I could die cut this and then blend it, and I did that on my 5 ways with video, so you can see how to do that then, but it is slightly quicker just to blend it before you've die cut it. The reason that I did it before, when I die cut it first, is I actually wanted to use the imprint as well, so I used that in 2 ways, so you can check that out as well. So I'm going to use some nice fresh colours today, Calypso Coral and Flirty Flamingo. So I'm just going to rub my my blending brush on. And I actually did a 5 ways with blending brushes video as well. So I'll link to that below so that you can go and have a look if you want to know more about the blending brushes. But they're really simple to use. You can see, like, I'm not having to do much to get this colour on here. We're going to be die cutting it with quite a fine die cutting tool, so I'm not too worried. Like, usually if I was just doing a blend, I would make sure that these patchy areas are covered, but I'm not worried about that at all today, because the die cut is quite fine, so you won't really notice afterwards. So I'm just putting this down here just to make sure I'm getting all of that Calypso Coral, because I obviously wasn't thinking properly before I started this, because I would always usually start with the palest colour first. So if you're watching this, then don't do as I do as I say, and start with the palest colour first, because that is definitely the better way to do it. I just clearly wasn't thinking properly. I'm having one of those days. I'm actually filming this after I've put my son to bed at night, and my brain's a little bit frazzled. So that's plenty big enough now. I'm just going to fill this little bit in the centre in, because it was a bit lighter in the centre. And like you can see, it's still a bit lighter. And like I say, if I was worried about the blend and I was just using this as a blended piece, then I would do something about that, but I don't need to, because I'm going to die cut it out. And you'll see when I bring the die cut back, you won't notice. so I'm not going to spend time. And then I've got one of my adhesive sheets, and this comes in a pack of 12. And you can see it's really easy to use because it comes with these layers that just come off. So I'm going to peel the layers back. I only want to peel them back really like that far, because I don't want to use the end of it. I can use that for a different project. But because this is a really fine die cut, I do want to have adhesive sheet on the back so that it just sticks really nicely. And actually I might only just use 2 of those slots. I can save this third one, so I'm going to bend that one down. So I'm just going to use these 2 pieces. Depends on what you're doing, you won't be able to for every project, but if you can cut like this so that I'm actually cutting through the top layer as well as the bottom layer, that actually makes it easier, because your scissors aren't getting all sticky. So then I've got adhesive sheet on the back there, and then I'm just going to go ahead and just die cut this. So I should be back in a second. Then now I hope you can see what I mean. Like when I wasn't too bothered about getting the blend right, now that it's die cut it looks lovely and you just get the nice kind of ombre effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off. So you can see the piece is nearly 4 inches, so it's like 1/8 of an inch under 4 inches. And this is 2-inch square, so I can get 2 lengths out of this. So what I'm going to do is just cut it along the line here. And I'm just going to cut along here. So I'm literally just cutting the solid edges of this. And then because this is 1/8 of an inch under 4 inches, I'm going to cut it in half. So I'm just going to cut it at 1/16 of an inch under the 2 inches. So that's the very first mark under the 2 inch on my paper trimmer. I'm just trying to make sure that that's as straight as possible. And I'm going to come back to my box, and I want to stick this around the outside. So I don't want the joins to be on the front. So I'm actually going to try and make it. Do you see the little lip here where you can undo the box? Just kind of fits in this piece here. So I'm going to stick it like this. So I'm just going to take our adhesive off the backing off our adhesive sheet. And you can see why I wanted to use adhesive sheet for this, because I want it to be stuck really nicely all the way around, and that would be almost impossible with glue. So I'm just going to stick that like that, and then line up this bottom edge, and then I'm just going to bend that around the corner. I'm just going to make sure it's nice and smoothly stuck all the way. Now I'm going to use this other piece. Now I'm going to have a bit of a join where it joins up, but I don't think you'll notice massively once it's all done. So I'm just going to butt this up against here. And you'll notice I'm using the Calypso Coral to butt up against the Calypso Coral so that it looks more uniform as it goes round. And I'm just going to chop this extra bit off here. And you can see there is a join there, but I think if you're just kind of like looking at it and you're not looking for the join, I don't think you'd necessarily notice it too much, and I've made sure that it's not on the front. So I'm just taking a piece of Flirty Flamingo cardstock and my Memento black ink, and I'm just going to stamp the thanks from the stamp set onto there. And then I'm just going to use this die from the die set just to cut that out. So then I've cut that out, and I've also used this die here just to cut a piece out of this Calypso coral, because then it ties in nicely to the base. I've used the Calypso coral as well. And I'm just going to add that to the lid, just a few of these. And then how cute does that look? You've got this gorgeous kind of layer around here. You've got the thanks on the top, and you can fill it with some nice little goodies. So I really hope that you've enjoyed today's project. If you have, I'd appreciate you clicking like below, and you can also subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see future projects. If you select the bell button and press all, then YouTube will notify you when I've got new videos available. All of the products that we've used to create today's project are linked in the description below, and there's also a host code there, so if you pop that into your basket before you check out, then I'll send you a free gift after the end of the month. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope to see you again soon.